So this is a super exciting moment for me. Probably never really even thought about this, even the first 5 or 6 years of going to El Salvador, with just the state of the country and the things that these kids were already going through just to complete their education. But Rocio and I we started talking about this about a year ago, and just thought this would be incredible to get one of our students to come and speak to you guys. So I went to El Salvador for the first time I watched a video in 2015 as our vice president at the time, Beth Stewart, had gone with the Wallowa County Rotary Club. And I watched that video and thought, man, that looks like a fun time. And Devin and I think it was like must have been our 15th anniversary because, this 2025, this is our 25th, and so it was 10 years ago. And so I convinced her to go on a trip with me. And that following May, we went down in 2016 for the first time. And I kind of got a brief introduction to some students in the program, and it was definitely what I had hoped it would be, and even more. And then I went back, and in 2017 met a group of students, and one of those students in that high school program at the time that our club was sponsoring scholarships for was Rocio Canales. And she did not say maybe 3 words. The entire dinner that we had with them. We have a picture of Rocio getting shirts from Michael Yeager, their Eastern Oregon University shirts, and she has one holding that. And I say, Rocio, do you remember that? You remember what that was like? And of course she does, and she'll probably talk about that. But she didn't say 3 words. And then each trip back, she kept saying more and more. And then she started studying English in the university, and then pretty soon she was our interpreter for the group every time we came down. So I have many, many, many years and many great memories with Rocio. I do call her mi hija salvadoreña. She's definitely one of my Salvadorian daughters. And in all reality, Rocio is a special student and person, wonderful. There are many, many, many other stories just like her, though. And so what this club has done for these students in El Salvador truly has been life-changing. To be a part of that has been something extremely special. It's been a huge blessing in my life, and it is a huge part of my life now, that I don't ever see it changing until I can literally no longer go down there. But anyway, you're not here to listen to me, so I'm definitely going to turn the time over to. We're going to do a quick video, right, with John, who is the reason that we're doing this. He's kind of been the head founder of this and been doing this for many years before we got involved. And so we're going to have a quick video from John Kukenkos, who's going to talk a little about the program. We're going to then watch a video that Brent Clapp made while we were in El Salvador 2 years ago. And then we are going to have Rocio speak to you, and she will talk about the real story. So to that point, so here we go. This is John Kukenkos, who is in Chicago. And he was instrumental in all of this, served in El Salvador in the Peace Corps in the 70s, and of course they had their civil war in the end of the 80s and the 90s, and nobody was able to go there for a really long time. So in the 2000s, after that kind of got resolved and figured out, John and his buddy Jerry wanted to go down there and give back and help that country again. And so he will talk about that in his little video.
Brent, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to say hello to my good friends from the Grand Rotary. My name is John Kukenkos. I've been involved in the scholarship program in El Salvador for over 20 years. I go to El Salvador twice a year, and I have seen the impact of your generosity. I've seen the program mature. I've seen it grow. I've seen the impact it's having on these kids. I've seen these older kids that graduate, they come back and they mentor these younger kids who are still in school, and they serve as role models. Your support for high school students is really invaluable for us. It gives us first of all, it helps kids who wouldn't be able to graduate from high school. It gives them the opportunity to do that, but it also gives us a stable of kids that we can look at and know who might be qualified for scholarships to the university. The other thing, though, that I think your Rotary Club has that's really unique, and I think it's one of the unique things about the program, is you actually go down, you send representatives to visit these kids. And I've been with your group when they've come down there, and they show incredible understanding and empathy for these kids. And that has an incredible impact on these kids. You know, I hear it time and time again where these kids tell me, they say, you know, these people from so far away, they come down and they support us and they believe in us. And they say, you know, that gives me the ability to believe in myself. And that's a huge thing, huge part of their success. You know, I've been going down and visiting with these kids a lot. And over the course of the years, they're now graduating, they're getting good jobs, they're earning money, they're supporting their families, they're sponsoring scholarships for their siblings. They're good citizens, they're doing good works in the community. But I think that one thing I see is I see that they have an understanding that someone else's generosity had a huge impact on their life. And I think they want to have the same impact on the lives of others. It's kind of an incredible ripple effect that grows and grows each year the program's in existence. And really, you've been such a big part of that. Your Rotary Club should take great pride. You know, you're having an incredible impact on the lives of young people. I'm very proud of you, and I thank you for that. So thanks for the opportunity to say a few words.
John and I met when we were in fourth grade, when we were 10 years old. Went to grade school together. We split apart in high school and college, but always maintained a friendship. After college, John went into the Peace Corps, first in Turkey and then El Salvador. And in the summer of 1972, I visited him for about a month in El Salvador.
And we maintained our friendship all along, but we kept on talking about doing something. So one day we're sitting there at a restaurant having a margarita, and I looked at Jerry and I said, you know, we're not getting any younger. We better get about this. And I think both of us knew that the story would begin in El Salvador.
That was in summer of 2003. John wrote the Peace Corps director, and he set up a program for us in September 2003. He had us meet with 6 nonprofit groups, and we settled on working with 2 groups, one of which we're still working with today in the scholarship program.
We met a gentleman by the name of Tony Gasparo, who had founded this particular scholarship program about 5 years before we met him on that trip. We also met the Rivera family, who very dedicated people. We affiliated with Tony's scholarship program and with the Rivera family administering it here in country, and that is still occurring to this day.
I think what's most important to understand about a scholarship program is these are very poor students. Most of them live in the Campo rather than the city, very rural and very poor circumstances. There's inevitably transportation problems. There is historically a problem with gang violence that they have to navigate. So when we see these successes, we see them give back to their families, give back to the community. Education is something that just keeps giving, and you can't get it, you can't take it away from people. This was most important in terms of our choice of scholarships. Oftentimes when you throw money at things, there is problems with the streams of money, or is there somehow exploitation? Education is clean. You give the scholarship money to the student, and they must succeed. They must get the degree in order to get the money. Also, the outcomes are easily measured. We have a very high graduation rate and a very high employment rate after graduation. So this kind of foundation of its evidence-based intervention, that it's been very effective, the money is not wasted at all. And the big key to the whole thing is this Rivera family.
Cuando estaba en noveno grado,
When I was in 9th grade, the Habo Association and Rotary program came to my school and interviewed me. They told me about what they did, and it seemed like a great opportunity, so I was extremely happy. After I was interviewed, I passed the test and was selected. Thanks to you, I'm able to finish high school, which took me 2 years. I was encouraged to study a scientific career here in a country that is not very developed, so it was a challenge and continues to be a challenge. Women are not very well regarded here in the country when they study a scientific career. Since they are not considered significant, I only had male classmates, and I suffered. But now I am in my last year and I did it. I did it thanks to you, the people who visit us, the sponsors, and those who are there, the donors.
los donantes.
Actualmente trabajo en un colegio.
I currently work at my school in my hometown in the Congo, and I teach 5th grade. I joined the scholarship program about 10 years ago, and I received a 2-year scholarship from the Rotary Club. I studied my 2 years of general high school. I thought I would not be able to continue studying because I was a young mother, but thanks to the scholarship program, I had the opportunity to continue studying. During my time as a scholarship recipient in the high school scholarship program, I graduated from school with honors. A few months after graduating, I got my first job. Now that I am a teacher, it is something that fills me with satisfaction because I am doing something that I love, something that I have dreamed of. Now I have seen it become a reality, and I feel very grateful for the scholarship program because it has just changed my life. It has changed the life of many other people. Through us, we can also continue changing and making more people dream because dreams really do come true.
Sí se hacen realidad.
I started with the Casado program from 1st grade to high school. I was always encouraged and on the honor roll because I have always been hardworking. In 2014, I started college and chose a bachelor's degree in mathematics. I graduated and am now a math teacher. I am working in a public school, and I am pleased to tell you that in December, I received an email notifying me that I had won the position with the government. I am studying a master's degree in information and communication technologies, and I am doing really well. I have excellent grades, and I'm going to finish my master's degree on November 15th of this year in the scholarship program. It has allowed me to do many things. It has helped me to evolve as a person and to acquire certain values. There's not only financial support, but emotional support as well through meetings and workshops, where they have helped and motivated us a lot.
Han estado motivándonos.
En el programa de becas inicié
I started the scholarship program in 2007 when I was in 7th grade and got my basic level in high school, then my 8-year doctorate in medicine. I graduated in 2019 with very few resources, so I came to this program for support. For me, it has been a great blessing because they have made me grow both in education and led me to be a professional. I truly believe that if I had not received help from this program, I would not be the professional that I am now. I may have had the intention and wanted to be a doctor, but without the help of the program, it would not have been achieved. I am very grateful because thanks to the program, I am now a professional and I am very happy doing what I do as a doctor.
lo que hago como médico.
For many developing countries, if you're going to invest in the education of a child, you would invest in the boy rather than the girl. It's not true everywhere, but the bias is girls do not need an education. And you see that a message from society taken in by individuals, where I'm not worthy to achieve my full potential because of my gender. And that has to be overcome, and it is being overcome all over the world. It's a remarkable thing to see.
You know, we're very privileged to be a part of this. You know, we get thanked all the time for providing these opportunities. Well, the kids are doing the hard work and having such great success. And these little stories tell so much. The other thing is, you know, nobody can ever take your education away from you. It's always yours. Um, we talk to the kids about, yeah, and education is good for making money and can help your family, but it's way more than that. It opens your life. The one thing we preach constantly is that you have an obligation with this scholarship. You need to give back to your community.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. First of all, it's a pleasure for me to be here and meet you all, and that you get to meet me, which is a proof of what the program does for society in general in El Salvador. It's not just for me, because contributing to my education, you have contributed to society in general. Well, I joined the scholarship program when I was in the second year of high school. Sorry, I didn't say my name. My name is Rocio Canales. And I was just thinking about it while I would continue talking. So, yes, I joined the scholarship program when I was in second year of high school. Not yet thinking on what I was going to do after high school. I must tell you that I am part of a blessed family because I have 3 siblings, a younger sister, I have a twin who's a boy, and I have an older brother, and we all have studied and we have achieved and pursued higher education because we all have got a scholarship from different programs. But we're blessed because we have got to study a major at the university because of that. I come from a rural area in El Salvador. My town is called El Congo. And that town is part of a department of the western part of our country, which is Santa Ana. And to go to the university is a challenge, not only because university is hard, but because we don't live close to the university. So when I got to the program and I wasn't yet thinking on going to the university, it was already hard to go to high school because we don't live close to the school. And having the scholarship to continue in my second year of high school was a blessing. As you know, there, we don't pay for high school, we don't pay a tuition for going to high school, but we spend money on transportation and food and other resources that we need to study high school. Even though we don't pay a tuition, we need that money for that. So, and it's not only, we always say that in the workshops that we had. Well, I say we had because of work now, I don't go that often, but all the students that are part of the program and me, we've always said that being part of the program, it's not only about the economic help that we get, like not only the money that we get from the sponsors, but it's emotional support that we have there. The program is coordinated and supported by the Rivera family that I'm sure you have heard about them. And we all think that ADU, which is the program, it's just like a family. We feel happy there because we feel understood there when we go to the meetings, and we feel supported by them, the family who administrates the program, and also you, the ones that make this possible, not even knowing the students. That's what we always say, that we feel like we are a family because we feel supported by everybody. We have networking there by getting to know other students, experiences. Sometimes I remember when I was a student and I would go to the meetings and I would listen to the other students' stories. Probably I was struggling with something that I was going through, and maybe that what I was going through wasn't that big as the other students' issues, right? Like family issues, or they were having a hard time in their schools. So we always say that we love being in the program because we feel we are part of this family that gets support from others abroad that don't even know us. And that's what we feel when people like you and John and Jerry visit us, and we are so grateful for that, and we say, so these are the ones that make this possible, right? Continuing with my story. So I finished high school. In El Salvador, we just have one public university where you don't have to pay anything. But still, as I told you, if it is hard to go to high school because of transportation, food, and everything, it's even harder to pursue higher education. And so you have to do the test in order to get accepted in the university. I did it, and I was accepted at once. You have 2 attempts, but I said, if I don't pass it at the first time, I'm not going for the second time. Guess what? I was accepted in the first time. And then after that, well, I did a test not knowing how I was going to go because of the economic, barriers, let's say. And as I was accepted, I talked to John, who is the one that you saw in the video. I talked to him. I met him when I just finished high school, and he told me that they were going to see if it was possible for me to continue with the scholarship in the university, because by that time, the scholarship used to support only high school students. There was, I think, just one girl that was at the university with a scholarship from my town. So they say they were going to see what they could do, and they told me I was going to continue with the scholarship. So I studied the major in English teaching. And, well, it's a long name of the major, but I always say when they ask me, what do you study? I always say languages because it's the short way to say it. 5 years. It was very hard, as I mentioned before, because I had to take 3 buses in order to get to the university. I would wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and come back at 7 p.m. and to continue doing homework and studying for the next day and everything. But being part of the program was one of my motivations, because every time that once a month that we used to gather and share how we were doing at school and everything, even if the other 30 days of the month that I didn't see the people from the program, I forgot about that. That single day that we got together, I got motivated because of what they tell us to keep going, because of the things that the other students shared. And I said, if they can, I can do it too. Or we all supported each other, saying that how we could overcome those things we were going through. So I continued studying, working hard. I was in 4th year of the university when the pandemic started. And that is something I was telling Joel, that I was so tired already when the pandemic came that I said, if the pandemic hadn't come and we hadn't had online classes, I don't know if I had finished the major, because I was so tired of waking up so early and going to bed so late. So that was a good part for me, let's say. I finished the major in something. When you finish the university and you get very good grades, and that happens in the 5 years, you have the right not to do the thesis. So you can just graduate right away. You just do the paper thing, like the processes that you have to do to graduate, and you just do it. And that happened to me. So I worked very hard since the very beginning for me to finish the major in the 5 years. And I didn't want to do the thesis, right? I wanted to graduate quickly, get a job, and continue. I've always liked studies, so my objective was also to continue with a master's degree. But then, so I finished my major, and then even though my major is about English teaching, we take 2 French courses in the major. So I also studied French in the major, but I liked the language, so I took like 3 courses outside the major. So I studied French for 2 years too. Donc, si vous parlez français, vous pouvez pratiquer avec moi. No, that's just something in French that I learned. And, well, I finished my major, I studied French. And being a student in the university, there's something, well, that's like politics in the university where students represent the classes and the majors and everything. I got involved in something related to that because I was like chosen as a leader of my major. And thanks to that, I went to Colombia. That was my first travel. And I felt so happy. And probably traveling for the first time abroad wasn't something that was because of being in the scholarship program. But there's something that I always think, and it's that the students that are part of the program are so special, and I include myself, because that's what I hear from the people who visit us and tell us, right? Hey, you are so special, there's something in you. And I would say that's our resilience. I would say we're very resilient, and we get to achieve things that we never thought before. Like, if you had told me 9 years ago I was going to be here in front of you, I would have said, you're kidding. Like, how am I going to do that? The first time that I traveled and I went to Colombia, that was like a dream for me. My dad, I don't remember, but my dad says when I was little, I used to say that I wanted to travel. But because of the circumstances in which we live, I would say, like, how I was going to say that if, I mean, you know, when you're little, your imagination is big, and you don't even think of limits to achieve what you want to achieve. And continuing with the idea of students part of the program being special, I've seen many other cases of students who achieve so great things, not because they are part of the program, but there's something there. I tell Joel that it's like a chain of events, that we are part of the program, we get motivated, and we achieve great things, and then we go and tell the other students, and we motivate the others to keep going, to do the things that they want, to dream, not to have limits, because that's what sometimes happens, that probably you don't have the resources, but if you want to do the things, you are going to work for that. And being part of the program, I don't know, it's like magic that gives us something, and we feel that we can do the things farther than what we think. And I know a student from the program, he just went to China, imagine, because of his work. And I say, like, okay, so I know other students, I know the students, I have gone through things that I never imagined before. I have dreams come true, and I feel so happy that I can share my story with other students that now are where I was before, and I never thought I was going to do the things that I'm doing now. So I think that being part of the program makes it special just because we are part of the program, and we get supported by people who don't even know who we are, and that's what they say. They are always happy that when Rotarians and John, Jerry, and other friends that they take with them go to visit El Salvador, because they say, how is it that people who don't know us get the funds to continue with the scholarship program? And so that's another motivation. Imagine your family knows you and they want you to do good in life. But how is it that people who live abroad and don't know your story, like probably the very personal story, like don't know how you grew up since you were little, they want you to do good in life and help your families and society. Because as I said before, it's that now my siblings and I, for example, now that we work, we can help our parents. Our Salvadoran culture is like that like most of the young people want to have education, want to get a good job because they want to help their families. And that's something also we feel very satisfied with, I would say, because that satisfaction of being able to help your families. And as I mentioned before, it's like a chain of events. So now I said, if I hadn't had the scholarship 9 years ago, if I hadn't gone to the university because of being motivated by the Rivera's family and the scholarship program, what had happened? Like, what could have happened at that time? What would be Rocio now? And I don't get an answer because I just look back and I see everything that I have gone through, and I'm just grateful with everything that has occurred in my life. And I'm so grateful with all of you, the ones that make all this possible, and all the other students continue studying, and all these families developed, and our society in general developed. So this is the little words that I have for you tonight. Thank you for listening. I don't know if you may have any questions. I'm here to answer.
This is your time to ask Rocio the questions you have, want to know.
Yes?
You talked about your dreams coming true. What more now? What is your next dream? What's the next thing you want?
Well,
Be sure to repeat the question, please.
yeah, so the question is that you mentioned that I have many dreams and I have had dreams. So what's my next dream to come true? Well, since that time that I went to Colombia, I didn't give like so many details about that. I could go there sponsored by my university because I was part of an organization of the university. And since then, I love traveling and I want to continue traveling. In fact, my top dream, like from the countries to visit, it's Italy. I don't know if you guys have watched a movie of Hilary Duff when she is in Rome. So since I watched that movie, I got in love with Rome, and I really want to go there, and I want to give myself the gift of going to Rome when I turn 30, and I'm turning 26 in August. So I'm already like trying to save money for that dream I want to come true. Yeah. Thank you. Any other? No? Yes? Okay. Well, yeah.
Are you teaching right now?
Yes, I didn't mention that. It's so much information that I just forgot some very important details. So my work. After I graduated and everything, I would tell you a couple of experiences I have had in the working field. So I finished university. Besides other informal jobs that I had teaching, I got my first formal job working. So I'm from Santa Ana, but then I used to move to San Salvador only on Saturdays to teach English there. After that, I was I learned French, so I wanted to do something with French. I didn't want just to know the language and that's it. I wanted to work the language because it had costed me money and time and energy, so I said I had to do something with the language. I worked for 10 months in a call center, but taking French calls from people from Canada. So I worked for Bank of Montreal. I don't know if you have heard about that one. It's a Canadian bank, but I was taking French calls there. I loved it because I didn't think I had that level of proficiency in French. And working there and getting to understand what people from Quebec spoke like, that was very exciting for me. Then I was contacted from a university in El Salvador. There's a project for English teachers in El Salvador that is called Teachers Up. It's a project sponsored by the US Embassy and a university there. So I got involved in that project just because I saw some publicity in social media, and I met a person there, and that person is like the director of the English department in a university there. So she contacted me. I was hired in that university, and I'm currently teaching English in that university. On Saturdays also, I teach English at the American School in El Salvador. They have there's an extension program, so any person who wants to learn the language, they just go there and take classes. We have the children, teens, and adults program, and I teach there on Saturdays. So this is the fruit of all the work that I've done the previous years.
So do you work Monday through Friday?
I work Monday through Friday at the university and then Saturdays at school. Right now, I'm in break because not from school. This is great that I am here and that I could take advantage of this time, because in El Salvador right now, we are in a national holiday from August the 1st to the 6th. So that means I won't work the coming Saturday, but the next one. And at the university, we just finished our second term last week. We did the final exams, and I had it check-in for me to deliver the reports, and I was free to come here. Yeah. Yes? So if there aren't any more questions, that would be it. Yeah?
What has your family thought of what you've been able to do?
Sorry?
Your family, what have they thought about what you've been able to do, like your father and everybody?
They are so proud of me, and I am very happy because they are proud of me. I would say that's the gift I can give them after the effort that they have made too, because it hasn't been only me behind the effort that a student does, it's their family's effort. The mom that worries about the food that the student has to eat, the dad that it's there trying to support with the other things that the student needs. So they are so proud of me, and I am happy because that's what they get at the end of the day.
Dale Mammon, who was not able to be here, I don't know where, but this is like a vintage, I don't know what else to call it, a vintage banner. I have no, it's just probably, I mean, some of you might, you have any idea how old this is? Anybody? Anyhow, real old. No, and we wanted to present this to you so that you will remember us. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Well, just something else, I'm sorry. I take long. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I love being here. I should have started saying this. I just had that in mind and then I forgot. I'm so happy to be here. Your Oregon, it's so beautiful. La Grande is so beautiful. I just want to go. I don't want to go back home. I just want to stay longer. It's so beautiful. It's very quiet. Since I am from a rural area in El Salvador, I just feel like being at home because of the weather how it is now. The trees and everything, I just love it. So you're very blessed to live here, and many of you have been raised here since you were babies, so that's just a blessing. Yeah. So thank you, everybody.